Hello, it's Caroline at For the Love of Crochet, but never fear, this is a sewing video. My favorite hobby, of course, is crochet, but I definitely want to dabble into sewing. And so if sewing is something that you have wanted to start, this video is about just starting your sewing journey and my experience with sewing school and sewing classes that you can take locally. And so I'm going to share a little bit about my experience, and that way you can make a decision, or maybe you have a sewing machine that you haven't touched because you didn't know where to begin. So this video is for you. Or if you just want to see what I made, because I have a few projects that I've made that I'm really excited to share with you. They are the cutest, well, at least I think they're the cutest, and I also made some practical things. So let's get started. Okay, so when I first started sewing, I have a old little machine that I inherited from my mother, which is a Janome 641, and it is about 30 years old, and it is great. And I took it to get serviced and whatnot. And I asked anyone and everyone how to help me thread this machine and how to use it. And then I recorded everything that they did so that way if I ever forgot, because if you're like me and you don't practice it often, you'll forget certain steps. And so I'll refer to those videos. The second thing I did was I started trying to look for local sewing classes in my area. So I called every sewing shop. I put out a post on Facebook and asked any friends or family that were willing to help me. And unfortunately, I did not get any response. So I didn't get a very good response. So then I searched out all the sewing shops in my area and I found some beginner classes. The first class I did a drawstring bag, and I was so excited and so happy that I made a video about it. And it's not the best video tutorial, but I was so excited to share the process of learning sewing that I made a video about it so everyone could try and practice or do it. Now, I had this little rinky-dink machine. It's all plastic. You can still buy it at Hobby Lobby and online, I believe for like $70. And let me tell you, that baby can put in some work, and it did. It helped me make pajama pants, pajama shorts, all the drawstring bags, which is in the tutorial. You'll see this little tiny gray sewing machine, and I used it and it did fine, and no needle ever broke on that. And I can't say the same for this baby back here. So that was my only traveling one, because my mother's sewing machine that I inherited was in a case and not one I could travel with to take to these classes. I was perfectly fine with my little machine, but apparently it was a little too noisy for the class, and so the teacher would give me a sewing machine to sew on. And in that experience, she would let me try different machines, and one of them was this Elna. Not this particular model. I ended up buying it because it was so cool, because it did all these cool features like threading the machine for you, the easy pop-in bobbin, the easy threading, all these fancy stitches that you can get on this. I think it's like, I don't know, over these many stitches and zippers and, you know, all this cool things, right? And all these little foots that you can, it came with several different feet options. It was loaded. And it was actually the anniversary edition that I ended up getting. Now, so this is now the sewing machine that I take to all the classes that I try to take. If you want to learn sewing, sewing is expensive. These classes are not cheap. The cheapest ones were $30, and that doesn't include your fabric or the pattern. And then the ones that include the pattern are $90 and up. And If you don't finish it in class, then you have to go and finish it at home. So the sewing classes that you go to are really cool because if you get stuck on something or you don't know how to change your foot pedal, or maybe your machine's doing something that you don't know what it's doing, they can help you through that process. And so the sewing classes in store are awesome because you have that one-on-one experience, and they can help you navigate your machine if you are new to using your machine. And so I do think they are important to have a one-on-one because I ran across a problem and my needle bent because of this project I'm going to show you. So if you want to start sewing, I highly recommend it. It's such an awesome experience. And I very much look forward to making garments and practical things around my home, like bags, cushions, baskets, organizational things. Sewing is so useful. It is such a useful tool. Or if you have clothes that are too big or too small, how you can change them up and make them something new. So it's a resourceful and a skill that I very much want to tackle. And in my experience, so the first thing I'd like to show you is, there is a YouTube channel called Pin Cut Sew. Awesome channel, and she is used to teaching children. And so her instructions are very useful to a new sewer, but also to a seasoned sewer. And so the first thing that I made, I followed off her tutorial, and it is the cutest little thing. Now, if you are new to me, if you have just clicked on this channel, I am a crocheter and I make a lot of crochet bunnies. It is the year of the bunny. And when I saw this, Matchbox bunnies sewing, so here's the Matchbox. Let's do this right. And here is my little Matchbox bunny that's in her little mattress. So you make these little mattresses and you can turn it around and make it, two different fabrics. And this is a perfect project to start sewing, even for kids. It's just a rectangle. You're sewing two pieces together and you're following a line. And if you mess up, no big deal. So this is a perfect project for a beginner. Same thing with this. This is basically a little square and a half circle. You sew two things together, then you sew the front and the back together. Very simple. Not only that, but it also teaches you how to put something on like ears, and how you have to sew them on this way, and then that way when you turn the little bunny out, they will be standing up. And so you get to have fun with maybe an old shirt, an old pillowcase, use what you have. This was such a cute little bunny project. I just so enjoyed it, and it's so tiny. And it fits in this little Matchbox. Now, she gives you all the instructions on her YouTube video, but then you can also buy the pattern. So you have all these pieces that you cut out like so. These are the templates, and you make your little bunnies. Now, I made several of these. Great practice. And then if you have construction paper or scrapbook paper, which I had a ton of when I used to scrapbook. And here is another one. This one's super cute. So I tried to incorporate some lace on this one, ribbon lace. And this is wool felt. She recommended wool felt because of its nice coloring. It is very... it's more natural looking. And then underneath this lace, of course, is a piece of fabric, but this is all sewn on, and it's so cute. Okay, so not only that, This one I messed up on. I missed this little part, and so I just hand sewn it, no big deal. And then she also teaches you how to do this little embroidery and how to get that on your fabric. So cute. I had a lot of fun making these little babies with their little beds and then folding the paper. And then in the process of sewing these, she tells you, you can decorate your box. You can put ribbons and flowers and all kinds of little embellishments that you can put on your little box. And so here's another one. This one is made from regular felt, and I prefer I take that back. I bought this wool felt at Michael's, but the thickness on this and the thickness on regular felt that you can buy was such a huge difference, and this was really hard to sew through in something so tiny that you're folding together and trying to pin it down to where you don't sew it on. And so I found this wool felt a little too hard to work with. Maybe there's thinner squares. So I much preferred the regular felt that you could buy everywhere. And this one I gave eyelashes and eyes, and I gave him a black ribbon, or her, whatever. A black ribbon, but it's so thin. It's just a little black satin ribbon. So there's this bunny. And then this one I forgot to embroider before I had sewn it. And so this is the face that you draw on with a pencil. And then you just go over it with your embroidery floss, just like you would crochet or anything that you embroider. And this was so easy and so cool. I loved playing with these and then using all the different fabrics. And then this one is made out of a much thicker box, and it had this like embossed. It was slightly embossed. Let's see which way's the top. Here we go. And so here's this one. This one is so darling. So this one I used a white trim and a white face with the wool. So there's a big color difference between the wool and the regular one you can buy. So yes, this is my cute little Matchbox bunnies by Pin Cut Sew. If you want to learn to sew, she is a great one to learn from. Those are the Matchbox bunnies that I've just been having a lot of fun with and practicing my sewing. Now, Pin Cut Sew also has a rag doll, the Phoebe rag doll collection, and she teaches you how to make the doll through her YouTube tutorial, but then also sells the pattern so that you have access to the pattern as well. So if you need that extra help, she will walk you through it through a video, but then also sell the pattern for you. So I very much like Pin Cut Sew. And then the beginning classes for sewing garments. So what I have found is that when I try to find classes for sewing, for beginning sewing, it's really basic, very beginner ones, and they usually aren't very many garments. All of these sewing shops really focus on quilts and not a lot of garment making. And I really want to make garments. I want to make something I can wear. And so they're far and few between. And so I have decided to take an online course, and that course is called Sew It Academy, and that is by Mimi G. And she is a designer for simplicity. Not only does she have a YouTube channel, she also designs patterns for simplicity. Now, I didn't pick up any of her patterns when I went to my local Joanns, but I just wanted to share with you that my experience with Sew It Academy. So she has a free trial that you basically go through all the steps of learning your machine, how to thread it, what all the little pieces are, what you can do to change settings, and all the very basic steps. Like if you've never seen a sewing machine before, she'll walk you all through that for free on her Sew It Academy introduction course. And then after you take that course, you can either sign up to take her monthly class, which is called Sew It Academy. Now, this was the cheapest online course that I have ever seen. And I've already taken 2 courses, and one of them was how to make this eyeglass case. So basically, she's just getting you used to your machine, how to change the needle, how to go in a straight line. So these are very beginner projects, and so this is my sunglass case. The second project, and it's only, I believe, $7.99 or $9.99 for the women's course. If you want to sew men's and women's, you can get both for $14.99 a month. And you have access to all of her instructions as long as you have your subscription. So let's say you already know how to sew. Maybe you don't need these beginner steps. Then you could jump on into lesson 10 and sew whatever they're making in lesson 10. You get a preview of what that course will be on. So it could be a bag, it could be shoes, it could be garments, it could be undergarments. I mean, she teaches you everything that you need to accessorize your garment. I am just staying right at the baby steps, and I want to go through one all the way as long as I can until I feel comfortable. So this was the first one. The second project broke my needle. Okay, now this is the first one. It is a bag. Again, she's teaching you these basic lines and how to pivot at the corners, how to do a box corner, and how to hide your stitches without putting in a lining. And so yeah, this was what I had. I didn't want to go out and buy fabric. This is a little bit of a thicker fabric, but it's a cotton, and she teaches you how to put this huge pocket in. But then I got a little carried away, and I thought, well, I want to put a pocket on the other side, but I want it to be different so I can hook my needles or my pins or whatever, my glasses. And so I put one on the other side, and I was off. The other thing I was off on was lining up my canvas to meet directly on the same side. Now I did get it, but I did have to make my bag shorter in order to get that process. Anyway, this is what broke my needle. I was trying to sew through both of these pieces in order to hide my stitching, which is instructed. And in order to do that, I mean, the thickness of that bent my needle and scratched my metal plate. So I didn't think this was a great one for the beginner. And I didn't know what to do. My machine was like, didn't want to move. And I was like, well, what's wrong? And it wasn't until I finally was able to get the fabric out from under it that it had bent the needle. This had bent the needle. And I tried to go slow, and I tried to do everything. And then I even took it to my Janome to try to finish it and still had issues. But I finally got through it, and now I have a bag for it. And yeah, I cursed my way through this one. Sewing wasn't so relaxing at this point. So yeah, but anyway, I have a cute bag, and now I know how to put handles on a bag. But I was looking at Pin Cut Sew, and in order not to go through this double thing again, I found out another way that I could hide my stitching, and that is to just put in a lining. And so next time I will put in a lining in something like this. When I make another bag like this, I'll just add a lining. Okay, so with Mimi G, like I said, I mean, you have access to so many tutorials, sewing tutorials, and as long as you have your membership, you have access to all of them. She teaches you step by step on how to sew these projects. So I'm really excited about this, and I can tell you that there is nothing online that I saw that is as good as this, as cheap as this. I mean, that's your Hulu subscription or your Netflix subscription or your Spotify subscription. And to me, this is far more useful than those things. And so I just, I'm signed up. I'm excited because no sewing class is going to do that for me in my local area at $10 a month if you just do women's section. Like, I want to sew men's clothes too. Anyway, Joanns has a huge sale, and I don't know if it's still going on, but all the simplicity patterns are $1.99. Now, just like crochet patterns, you can't get a pattern for $1.99. They are, no. So I went and I scavenged all the simplicity patterns I could find, and this one is a bag. So here's a bag that's a pattern for $1.99, and it's basically similar to this one, only it has pockets on the side. And it also comes with a pattern to make a key fob to go with yours, and you can also make it a drawstring or a backpack drawstring, or just the handles. So it has all these different options in this pattern. So also they had a ton of doll patterns for all my amigurumi makers. They had a ton of doll patterns as well. I didn't buy any of those because I have a lot of dolls. So this is what I looked for when I picked up the simplicity patterns. Easy to sew, because these are going to be your beginner projects. These are the ones that are going to have the least amount of pieces to sew together. And so here we have all the separate pieces. This is everything that you can make from this one pattern. So I am really excited. This is Simplicity 3506. This one does not say easy to sew, but I figured it might be a challenge for me. And this is Simplicity 1069, which is just this basic skirt or pants. I also picked up this beautiful blouse pattern. I really like the version she's wearing, which is Simplicity 9469. Also an easy to sew. A lot of them that I bought are easy to sew. So they're going to have very few pieces. So I'm really excited. I picked up this one and Simplicity 8601. Very cute pattern with the tie front here. And that is the version that I want to make. Another easy to sew, which was perfect. And like I said, I wanted to make some men's clothing, and cargo pants are a huge trend this year. And so this is a cargo pant. I want to make those and the shorts for my husband and my sons. And this is Simplicity 9718. This was not an easy to sew. Like I said, I got some basic ones that I thought I could sew and that didn't say it. This is New Look. Now, they were not on sale, but, well, they were still on sale, but it was $4.99. And I am a huge fan of these tops in the summer because they're loose fitting and short sleeve, and it's going to be so easy to sew because there's not even any sleeves to attach. And it looks like you just hem the bottom and attach the shoulders. You're done. Just imagine the types of fabrics you see all over the Hobby Lobby and Joanns, and you can make any color fit any pants you have instead of going to go search the store for a top that goes with the pants that you have. So I'm really excited about that one. Another New Look pattern wasn't easy to sew, I believe. Well, it doesn't say easy to sew, but I liked this very loose pant and this loose top with the puff sleeves. And it also comes with this pattern to accessorize. So this little handheld bag, that would be perfect for all my crafters out here holding your goods. That is perfect. This is new look 6582. I also picked up Simplicity 8922. Another very loose, cool pant, drawstring. These could be pajamas or they could be your, easy summer outfit to go out in. Very thin pant, even has pockets, but I'm into loose fitting and cool fitting and nothing tight right now. And I bought this one especially because it had the gathered ankles. I like a pajama pant. I like a pant that doesn't travel up when I'm sleeping, and so these little cuffed will keep that from riding up. And it also has pockets and a drawstring pant. Again, making any fabric you have. That is so cool. It even comes with, you can turn this into shorts, and it also comes with a sleep mask if you want to make your own sleep mask to go with it. Very easy to sew pattern. And then here I got a Simplicity 1800 BB, whatever that means. And then these are the different types of dresses that you can make. Again, I'm looking for this loose fitting. I love a maxi skirt and a short sleeve, so very cute pattern. And then this one I got for my daughter, but I will definitely wear these and make these. And this is a pattern that will go for her size and my size because it's extra small to extra large. And it's got pockets, it's got this bib, it's got this, it's got a little bit of shaping. This one has less shaping, and she is quite unique, my little girl, and so she loves all kinds of weird colors, and the fact that she can pick her fabric and I can make her something is going to be awesome. And this, and just so you know, I mean, look at this. The pattern, the prices are regularly $21.95. You can buy these patterns 30% off all the time at Hobby Lobby. They're forever 30% off. But with $1.99, I got this for $1.99. So this one is for my daughter. And this one is for my daughter. Oh, and this is Mimi G. That is who I'm taking the Sew It Academy with. So this is one of her patterns that she's designed for simplicity. And I picked this because of the sweat jacket and fleece jacket and pants style. And look, it even has like these buttons. Very on trend, very cute. And again, for my daughter, I could totally make this in girly colors and her wild style. And this is Simplicity 9719, S9719. Yeah, so that is my haul of patterns because I'm excited to try this Sew It Academy. So this is what I've made through Sew It Academy so far. My sunglass case and my very first bag from there. And then that I am taking a class also in my local sewing shop. I saw one for a bag making course, and this is something that they've tried new, and it is to make a bag once a month. I would not make a bag once a month. It's a class that happens once a month for the entire year of 2023. And let me just tell you, it is so challenging and so difficult, and it was probably not for me, but I signed up. This is the bag. So this is going to be the outside of the bag. And as you can tell, I made a zipper pocket here. It has tab here. And the inside is going to have this type of pocket. I did the gathering stitch. So I learned a lot with this course, but it's probably not. I mean, I did quilting. So this is going to be the inner fabric, and this is the outer fabric. And then this is my the polka dot. So this is one half of the bag. The other half of the bag is going to be this. So again, I have another pocket. I even did a magnet opening. So it's going to have that. The other tab that's going to have a long strap. And then on the inside, I have this inside pocket, which is this mesh, so you can see through it. And then I've attached the zipper. So my bag will look like this. And then the inside has that pink detail. Very in-depth bag making course. And these patterns are by Annie.com or Annie's. And so all these patterns are available through Annie's, but I definitely needed the help with this one. This was so beyond what I could do at home. And so I am taking this course and we'll see how I do. I hope to finish that this month. And the next bag is not going to be that easy as well. And I think it's going to be a backpack. So let me know in the comments if you've stuck around. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to try sewing and what has been your experience. And if you have any advice for me, please leave them down in the comments. Thank you so much. Bye.